Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. If you guys are enjoying the content of the channel, be sure to smash that like button. And if you are new and want to stay updated on some great Philly content, well, be sure to hit that subscribe on the road to 3K. Appreciate everyone. But today, I want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and the 5 players, in my opinion, who this team cannot lose to injury in 2020 if we want to be a successful team, win the NFC East, make a run in the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to say if we lose one of these guys that the season is over. No, obviously I don't think that way. But if a multitude of these guys go down, 3, 4 of these guys, we are in a lot of trouble. I'm just going to simply put it like that. And this is just my opinion. I want to know from you guys as well who you think the Eagles cannot lose. But these are my top 5, and I'm not going to rank them in a specific order. I'm not going to say this guy, we can't lose to injury more than this guy. No, I'm not going to do that. These are just my top 5 Eagles that really cannot go down in 2020 in order for us to be a successful team. So we're going to get right into it. Number 1 on the list for me is obvious, right? It's the guy whose jersey I'm repping right now, Carson Wentz. We know, right? I mean, no offense to Jalen Hurts, no offense to Nate Sudfeld or any other quarterback. This team is Carson Wentz's. He is the franchise man. He's going to go, and we are going to go as far as Carson Wentz takes us. All the talk from the past couple years, I mean, I know it's true. He has gone down every year. Obviously, like I've been saying, it will go over a lot of people's heads last year that he did play a full 16. He got to the playoffs and got taken out by a cheap shot. It's true, but it is what it is. People are going to use that as a advantage to talk crap about the Eagles. I mean, it just is what it is. Us Philly fans know, and there are the real ones that know, it was a cheap shot, okay? Carson Wentz was one of few Eagles players to play the full season, but the fact of the matter is he did go down, and a lot of people will continue to talk about that. I mean, a lot of people say that is why we drafted Jalen Hurts. But with the expectations, with everything we're expecting from this Eagles team, this Eagles offense, everything as a collective whole, I'm telling you guys, Carson Wentz is entering his prime. The time is now. He has showed us flashes of MVP caliber type play. He has to come back this season and show that. And he has played good over the last couple seasons. He has just gone out with injury. He has to stay healthy. He has to stay on the field. This team will go as far as Carson takes us at the helm. We have supported him a lot this offseason by surrounding him with the right weapons. Look at all the playmakers we have out there. Just the firepower we have on offense. But Carson is the main man. He must stay healthy for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm expecting him to have an MVP type year if he does. Number 2 on my list, I'm going to go with one of his main pieces, and that is Miles Sanders, starting running back for the Eagles. Miles Sanders, in just 11 starts last year, really did not play the first, third, fourth of the season. And he came out and started to get more consistent snaps after Jordan Howard went down, and he just took it and ran with it. Not only on the ground, but in the air as well. Over 800 yards on the ground, over 500 yards in the air, 1,300 combined yards. He almost escalated to winning Rookie of the Year in pretty much 11 full games, which is insane. Look, I understand the saying, running backs are a dime a dozen. A lot of people say you can get one in the 3rd, you can get one in the 4th, 5th round, right? And it's true. But in my opinion, and I will continue to harp on this time and time again, there are difference makers. There are a few running backs in this league who are difference makers. I'm talking about game changers, can single-handedly shift a game based on what they can do. And I believe Miles Sanders is one of those players. I'm expecting him to break out even more, explode this season. I know Doug Peterson prefers the running back by committee style, but it doesn't matter. Miles Sanders, I don't want to drive him into the ground, but I'm still expecting him to have upwards of 1,600, 1,700, 1,800 combined yards because of all the situations that you can utilize him in on the ground, in the air. I'm expecting Miles Sanders to do so much. And I know we have depth at the running back position, but let me tell you, Sanders is a game changer. He's going to be up there with the best of them, and he cannot go down if this Eagles team wants to be successful. I always say it, we are at our best when the run opens up the pass, and Sanders has to stay healthy. Number 3 on my list, and I think this is a pretty obvious one, is Darius Big Play Slay. I know we have upgraded a lot on defense this offseason. We've picked up a lot of young pieces, but let me tell you, okay, Darius Big Play Slay has been disrespected, all these lists and everything. He is a top 5 corner. There is no doubt about it in my mind. He is a lockdown, shutdown defender, and he's going to do so much for this Eagles team. I've been saying it. I can finally have a bit of relief and say, I trust our number 1 corner going out there, going up against these best big receivers in the NFL. These solidified number 1 receivers. Darius Slay is a guy who is going to lock down every single receiver in the NFC East. You heard it here. Every single receiver, and he's going to shut down most of the opponents that we play this year. And there are some pretty good receivers that he will line up against, but I trust in Big Play Slay. He's going to have a tremendous year, do so much for this defense, become one of the leaders, hopefully one of the vocal leaders as well. And it's not only what he does for himself and for our cornerback 1, but he takes so much pressure off these other guys. Whoever wins out corner 2, whether it's Sidney Jones, Avonte Maddox, Trevor Williams, whoever, he's going to take so much pressure off them and allow them to not get continuously beat by some of these top receivers they have in the past few years, because we had no one else to put there. You can also leave him on his own island for the most part. I hope Jim Schwartz and his scheme aligns to how Darius Slay plays. You cannot have Slay sticking on one side of the field. He has to cover the opponent's best receiver at all times. You got to move him around, and you got to be aggressive. And I know Slay can play on his own. You don't really have to leave another safety back in case he gets beat. I mean, every corner gets beat once in a while, but overall, most of the time, Darius Slay will be able to hold his own. We can bring another safety down in the box, show more pressure, bring more blitzes, and just design different disguises in order to bring more pressure on the quarterback. And I'm finally happy and relieved that we have a guy I can put out there and trust. Darius Slay cannot go down with a serious injury, or else we will be back to the travesty of the past 3, 5, 6, however many years you want to call it, of watching guys get burnt like toast every single Sunday. Slay has to stay on the field. Number 4 on my list, and this guy would not have been on there if it wasn't for an event that happened before a couple weeks ago, and which was Brandon Brooks' injury. Number 4 on my list is Lane Johnson. Quite like that. Let me tell you guys, offensive linemen, there are usually guys you can plug in. Obviously, they won't be as great, but they will do the job, right? Well, guess what? We don't have a Vitae anymore. We don't have a guy like that we can plug in. And with Brandon Brooks going down, him and Lane are one of the best packages on the right side. Let me tell you, that duo is amazing. But Brandon Brooks already went down. Our line is thin as it is. We're hoping that a guy like Matt Pryor can step up, or we can go out and sign a free agent. But we still don't know about Andre Dillard, right? Jason Kelsey's getting up there in age. He might not be here next year. There are a lot of question marks, but the one solidified piece that I can still trust in 100% is Lane Johnson. He's so dominant, one of the best in the game at his position. And really, if Lane Johnson is to go down and him and Brandon Brooks are out together, it is not going to be good. Their opposing defensive lines are going to be able to stuff our run, and they're going to bring a lot of hard hits to Carson Wentz, and that cannot happen. It cannot happen. Lane is the leader on that offensive line with Kelsey. Really, it's the whole offensive line, but since we're picking one guy, I'm going to pick the guy that I'm most confident in, and that is Lane Johnson. He's been consistently healthy throughout his career. I mean, he was injured a little bit last year, but nothing too crazy. I know a couple years ago he was suspended and then he got injured, but look, Lane Johnson must stay on the field, and he is really the big protection piece for Carson Wentz. If he goes down, we will be in a lot of trouble on this offensive line. And number 5, to wrap it up, to cap everything off, there are a lot of guys you can throw in at this position, maybe a tight end or a wide receiver, but I'm actually going to go on the defensive line. I'm going to say Fletcher Cox. I understand we have a lot of depth on the defensive line. But let me tell you, Fletcher Cox, a lot of people were getting on him last season, kind of a down year in terms of stats wise, but we all know he always demands 2-3 guys. Well, guess what? We go out and a really underrated signing and picking up Javon Hargrave. We're expecting Derek Barnett to escalate this year. Brandon Graham, a great veteran, still there and can produce. I'm telling you, this D-line is going to be very, very good, and Fletcher Cox needs to stay on the field. I'm expecting him to have upwards of 8 to 10 sacks this year, and let me tell you, the Eagles are already sufficient at stopping the opposing team's running backs. There are a few running backs who really go off on the Eagles defense. It's here and there, and usually it's one of the best, like an Ezekiel Elliott or a Saquon Barkley, but let me tell you, Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave are going to stuff all of the running backs that we play this year. Those two, that tandem, along with the other guys, it's going to be something special. Fletch Cox must stay on the field. And in terms of the pass rush, we already know Fletch can throw a guy out of the way with one hand. He is that dominant. And given all the pressure, and like I said, with a guy like Darius Slay out at corner, there is going to be a lot more times this year where we can afford to send more pressure because we have trust in our guy on the outside. So I think Fletch has to stay on the field. He's still one of the best in the game at his position. There is no doubt about it. Not a lot of guys I would take over Fletcher Cox, but the defense overall, especially with Malcolm Jenkins leaving, to me, the leader of the defense has to be Fletcher Cox. These 5 guys, in my opinion, are the top 5 Eagles that we cannot afford to lose to injury in 2020 for this to be a successful season. You guys let me know down below if there's anyone I missed or anyone you would put up in that top 5. It's all a debate, man. Just my opinion at the end of the day, but I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.